over on the Willingham Drive property adjacent to Fire Station number 2. Looking at 25 unit, mixed unit townhome development, and it'll have a retail component over there as well. On King Arnold Street, adjacent from City Hall there, not far from the high school and recreation center, we have an 18-unit townhome development underway. It's under construction and we anticipate completion of it in early 2021. We have the landings at Virginia Park, which is right up here from us. It's almost completed now. It is a 12-unit townhome development that is mostly complete at this point. Dogwood Drive Townhomes, we have a 23-unit townhome development. That's adjacent to the old Stewart Avenue Baptist Church, right across the street from there. In a residential, we have a single-family residential development that is proposed for Springhaven Avenue, which is behind the In-City Suites, what used to be the old Ramada Inn. A 62-unit single-family home development arranged around shared amenities. That's going to be a nice development as well. We have an 8-unit townhome development on South Fulton Avenue called Asbury Park Phase 2. That's pending approval, pending final review right now. And we have a mixed-unit development that came before our planning commission last night, actually, a 274-unit apartment and retail space on North Central Avenue at where the comedy club, known as the Castle property, many of you may remember it as the Castle property, that came before the development authority last night. So those are just a handful of developments we've got going on. We're trying to keep Hapeville alive and vibrant, and again, make it a destination, make it a place that people want to come, but not just for a moment, but where they'll come, stay a day or two, and share some of their hotel motel tax money with us so we can keep doing the cool stuff we're doing. We've got a lot going on in the art world as well. We're finishing up a project on the pedestrian overpass there, near the main post office, near the post office there on South Central Avenue. It's going to feature an LED sign that's going to light up, nice bright lights at night that say Hapeville on it. We had the stairwell, the stairs to that painted as well. So it's nice and bright. It's taken that kind of an eyesore that's been downtown for a number of years and made it something vibrant and exciting. So couple that with a lot of the other art activity going on. We got a lot of murals around town. If you haven't seen them, take a look. They're very breathtaking, and we've got some very prominent artists that are promoting those. So Hapeville's rapidly becoming known as a place for the arts, and we're trying our best to keep all those balls rolling in the midst of trying to figure out what the economy is going to look like after this pandemic. I'll be glad when this year's over. It's taken many friends from us, and it's also been very, very difficult for the city from a financial standpoint. But we've weathered the storm, and we'll keep weathering it. We've weathered a lot of things, and we'll weather this too. So thank you all again for the opportunity to come to say hey to you today. I appreciate Gene, I appreciate the invite as always. Thank you for doing what you do, putting this together all the time, Gene. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. I know Alan has another appointment, so
I got a wedding to be at it too.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Thank you, Alan Hallman. Bobby Gillum will give a blessing, if you will, please, Bob.
Hello, Hapeville. Not as crowded as it was, but glad to have everybody here. No, not here, but keeping our prayer. We all need to do a lot of praying for this country and all the veterans here. God bless. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful that you've allowed us to come and be together again. We share the memories of our town, Hapeville, we love so much. We ask that you would bless this food that nourishes of our body. We ask you to bless all of the service men and women that here that is their time to country in their lives. These things we ask in Jesus' precious name.
Amen. Thank you, Bobby. John Cobb.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep it out. Thank you.
Okay. Need some lights, so I'll be vibrant. I've got a couple of notes and messages here for everybody, but I'm up here primarily to pass around the jar so we can get some money. I've got a sheet, and on the sheet, I only need your name and address if you aren't already on our mailing list. If you've changed or moved, I'll also need it on there. So I'm going to pass this around, and if you would, just pass it from table to table. And whatever you can put in, I certainly appreciate it. Gene spends about $100 to get this ready for us to go. You want to take the microphone? Okay, I got some history here to read to you. No, I just need a little light. Okay, I got a couple of facts for you probably don't know. They used to use urine to tan animal skin.
I used to use
Urine to tan animal skin. Urine. Okay, I'm going to tell you. So families would have a pot, and they'd all pee in that pot. And one day, they'd take it over and they'd sell it to the cannabis. So if you had to do this to survive, you were piss poor. Worse than that, there were poor folks that couldn't even afford to buy a pot. They didn't have a pot to piss in, and were the lowest of the low. The next time you're washing your hands, complain because the water temperature isn't just right. Think about how things used to be in the 1800s. Here's some things that happened in the 1800s. Those people got married in June. Anybody got an idea of why they got married in June? High school, that's a good one. They got married in June because most people took their annual bath in May. And they still didn't smell all that bad in June. So they got married in June. And of course there was a little bit of odor still. So the bride had a bouquet of flowers to offset some of the odor. And that's how that got started. Baths consisted of a big tub full of hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of the nice clean water. Seems like it would have been backwards. Then all the other sons and men, then the women, and finally the children. Last of all, the babies. By that time, the water was so dirty, you could actually lose someone in it. Hence the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Yep. True fact. Houses had thatched roofs of thick straw piled high. They had wood underneath. It was the only place for animals to get warm, so all the cats and other small animals, mice, bugs, and squirrels, they lived in the roof. When it rained, it became slippery, and sometimes the animals would slip and fall off the roof, thus the saying, it's raining cats and dogs. Okay, I hope I didn't give anybody indigestion. Enjoy that. Please sign on the sheet if you need to be revise your address or if you're not on the list. And any contributions you can make will certainly be appreciated. Thanks, Gene.
Dr. Cobb said it, you missed it.
You done?
I believe it.
Yes, Lucas.
All those sayings haven't been hard.
Yes, Lucas.
Yeah, you do.
So before you hear me? Right on it? Can you hear me? Yeah, there we go. Before I start, I want to tell a Joyce Cathy story. Back in around 1960, I was walking from the wharf up to Hapeville, downtown Hapeville. Truett was coming the other way from the Jackson building where he had an office. Had his hat on, which he wore. And I said, how you doing, Truett? He said, I'm fine, Jess. How you doing? He said, we're all excited. I said, oh, really? What about? He says, well, we've invented this process where we put chicken under pressure debone it, then we fry it, and then we're going to start selling it and maybe even franchise it. I said, that's wonderful, kid. And so as I'm walking away, I'm saying to myself, good luck with that, Troy. That's really going to work. Okay, now to things that are not so funny. These are all the ones who passed away since our last meeting. Charles Digger Wright, class of 1946. J.R. McMahon, class of 1951. Athene Hand Welsh, class of 1951. The wife of Tommy Welsh, class of 51. Barry Billington, who didn't graduate from Hapeville, he graduated from Forest Park, but he went, I think, through his junior year in Hapeville. Very well liked, class of 1958, would have been in Hapeville. Verlin Rich Thompson, class of 1955. Herb Butler did not graduate, would have been 1954. He was the Hapeville fire chief, and he was married to Jane Ellis Butler, class of 1955. Joanne Clemens Sassaman, class of 1949. Harlan Gaston, class of 1943. Wife, Linda Bullock Gaston, class of 1959. Gerald Anderson, class of 1956. Tommy Tyler, who died from COVID-19, class of 1958. His brother Bobby graduated in 1961, and his brother Carson graduated in 1956. Lee Wyatt, class of 1958. Barbara Couch, former mayor of Hapeville, class of 1944. Her husband was James Brooks, class of 1944. Her son was Jimmy Brooks, class of 1963. Maxine Everett Sims, class of 1955. Stephanie Barrow Castellani, class of 1982. She was the daughter of John Barrow, class of 1956. Frances Reeves Clayton, class of 1945. And just 2 days ago, Lois Morris Fraser, class of 1955. All in our prayer.
Susie Carroll, class of 68.
Okay. Susie Carroll, class of 68. Didn't see that.
Thank you, Jess Lucas. Folks, remember our next meeting is going to be February the 10th of the new year. Anybody have any announcement? Anybody want to talk? Julius, always.
Yeah, one more. Robert Yates, 84, 83, 84, 85 time frame, passed away, I heard. My years. I'm going to be coming around real quick, and what I'd like you to do is give me your email address. We're going to try to start building an email address list, so if he has changes to the program, he can email them out last minute, and most everybody will get them. So, thank you.
Anybody else have an announcement? Anybody want to say anything? If not, then this meeting will be adjourned, and we'll look for you on February the 10th year. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Gene.
Oh, and don't forget the folks, we got two Republicans running over there. We need them up in the Senate. All right? Thank you.